Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to TCGU. It's me, Noah, here doing another deck profile. We're going to be doing Mina from Campus Championship. If there's one out of... So there's 3 decks I like altogether. Bakugo was one of them. Mina's another one. I like the way this character plays. She doesn't have too much support. It's all really based on the set for her, but that's okay. I hope they elaborate more on this. It's Mina 2-dot. She's a 627 health. Static. Face down cards in my card pool do not count towards progressive difficulty. That's super sick. Respond after my punched or ranged attack deals damage. The rival loses 1 health for each face down card in my card pool. Let's get it started. We played 4 copies of our ultra rare Acid Corrosion Breach. It's a super sick card. It's a 2-check, so it's a little scary, but not as bad. Enhance, add a momentum card face down to your card pool. This deck is +2 speed, +2 damage. Enhance, add the top card of your deck to your card pool face down. Look at the face down cards in your card pool. You may add one of them to hand, so it draws you a card essentially, and it also gives itself speed and damage bonus, which is generically good. 2 copies of Cheerful Uppercut. I think this card is good on defense and offense, probably better on defense just because the ability to block and then stuff it face down for both decks is really good, especially when it doesn't matter to you because you're playing Mina. Also, you can discard a momentum to give it +4 damage. Really, it's just a nice key defensive piece to have. 4 copies of Half Hot Ignition. We can only play the water hand, so that's all we really care for is the ability to still deal 1 damage, meaning if it touches still, we can use Mina. That doesn't matter. Use Mina and burn them for the rest of the damage if we need to. She's acid. That's her quirk ability. 4 copies of Acid Fling. If it's blocked, after it deals damage, I can add the top card of my deck to my momentum. Deadlock Enhance. Add a rival as Center Foundation in their card pool. That's whatever. Usually it's just here to generate momentum. It's part of her kit. And then what I think is probably her best card, honestly, if they made her a flash deck, I'd be so okay with that, is 4 copies of Acid Chop. Respond after you play this deck. Both players add the top card of their decks to their card pool face down. So it's a 5 speed, essentially, quote unquote, a 5 high for 4, 5 high for 5. Really, with the way the character plays, and they can't do anything but have responses, so enhances don't do anything. They just have to raw block it. Put these down just a bit. Walk. That's a little break. Okay. 2 copies of Rescue completed. We are playing a water deck. Speed reduction is the name of the game. Speed increase is also the name of the game. That's just how it goes. Rescue completed for +1 speed or -2 speed by committing a foundation or being able to ready face downs, which I don't think I flipped as much as I initially thought. 4 copies of Classmate Introduction. Super simple. This card is a staple in any of the symbols that can play it. +1 speed and damage on your first attack is nuts. +1 speed continuously for any attack if they don't block anything is also nuts. 2 copies of Irrefutable Force of Nature just so we can shut down pesky foundations that get in our way. 2 copies of Think Fast if we want to change the zone and give something 1/1. It's also just a really good block mod, and it's a water card. That's half the reason we got it. We only have 2 sets. We still have a little bit of a limited amount of cards we can play. 3 copies of First Villain Encounter, since she does work with ranged, and water loves ranged. This just gives our ranged attacks 1 speed, 1 damage, and the next one, it gets -1 difficulty. The Deadlock Enhance is almost never used. 3 copies of Wall Cling. We're not squishy, but we're not beefy, and Wall Cling is just generally good to have because a lot of people can just go haywire with throw decks or build out big beefy damage that you don't want to have block. For her kit, specifically, there are 4 copies that we're playing of choosing a hero name for +2 or -2 damage by putting it into the card pool face down is generally what we want to do. Respond commit after your attack gets a damage penalty due to your rival's non-character effect, it gets +4 damage instead, which is super sick. 3 copies of Malday. It's a 4-check, which is the only reason I'm a little scared to play 4 copies of it. Honestly, I'm more scared of 4-checks than 1 and 2s. But Malday does say, respond, I can add it to my card pool face up or face down to pick up an attack if I checked one, or after I check one. Deadlock Enhance once per turn, which actually was used a few times. I can just add the top card of my deck to my momentum. Water deck, 3 copies of Graceful Maneuvers. We stuff our card pool pretty heavily, just like the opponent would want to stuff our card pool if they're playing water as well, depending. So this just says -2 speed and -1 speed for each extra card in my card pool. Generically good. Speed reduction is always nice. I might bump this up, but it's 2 copies of Struggling with Studies. Enhanced Flip. If this is your rival's 3rd or greater attack this combat phase, add 1 card from your card pool to your hand. So you can pick up a block, or you can pick up an attack for the next turn. Respond before one of your foundations would be flipped due to a rival's effect. I could flip this one instead. 3 copies of Ice Gliding. It's essentially just -2 or +1 if you block it, +1 or -2 on speed. It's just speed hate. 2 copies of Tape, because it's speed hate. 3 copies of Observant Student. I think if we're ever able to use the Deadlock Enhance, it's super cool. But the ability to look at the top card of your deck and know if you want to potentially draw it with our Ultra Rare or check it, whatever. It's just generically good, and it's nice spam. 3 copies of Gotcha. Spam, speed hate especially, because it mixes super well with Rescue completed for -3 speed instead. 3 copies of Surviving the Final, because it's -1 speed on an attack once per turn, and then 4 copies of Desperate Times, so if my opponent's drawing cards, we can deal with that and keep them from playing them. We stun them out. Overall, Mina 2 super cool. I think if they add more support for the character, she'll be really nuts. Even just 1 more attack with flash or without flash, just even low damage, just good amount of speed, it'd be really nice to have for her. Hope you guys enjoyed this deck profile. Be sure to check out the rest and all the other content on the channel, and as James would say, stay alert.